Hey there, guys. Welcome to another episode of 99 Continues. This is the high score TJB alongside Legit Camel. Legit Camel, say hi.
What's up, guys?
And today we got a treat for you. The Nintendo Power Hotline is back up and running for 1 weekend only. So we're going to call it and see what we can do with it.
Thank you for calling Nintendo's Power Line, which is back for 1 weekend only to celebrate the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System NES Classic Edition system, now available in stores at a suggested retail price of only $59.99. If your NES skills are a little rusty, don't worry. Some of the original gameplay counselors are here to share a few top tips and maybe even a story or two of their days on the original Gameplay Counselor Hotline.
Alright, which one do you want to go with first?
Let's just start with one. We'll work our way down the line.
Legend of Zelda?
Yeah.
Alright.
Here a gameplay tip for the Legend of Zelda. Hi, I'm Pat Well.
Hello, Pat.
In my days as a gameplay counselor, I sometimes help players beat a game from beginning to end. Most often it was the Legend of Zelda, which was a tricky game to get through back before you could look up answers on the internet. A player would call after getting stuck in a dungeon, then call back an hour later asking for help on the next dungeon, and then the next. By the end of the day, they might have called me a dozen times, but it was always rewarding when you helped someone navigate a difficult dungeon, find a missing item, or beat that tough boss. We were gameplay counselors, and our job was to turn players' frustrations into victory. Sometimes the callers were so young they didn't even know their left from their right. You tell them to go 2 screens to the right, and they say, is that towards my kitchen or is that towards my living room? But that would always make me smile. Speaking of The Legend of Zelda, did you know beating the game unlocks a second quest with new dungeons and new hiding places for everything? If you'd like to start the second quest right away without beating the main quest first, just start a new game and register your name as Zelda. The second quest is a lot tougher, so good luck. Now you're playing with power. Here a gameplay tip for Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 3, press 1. To hear a gameplay tip for Metroid, press 2.
Alright, on to Super Mario Bros. Then.
Hi, I'm Melvin Forrest. I got my job as a gameplay counselor in 1990 after participating in Nintendo's Power Fest. I lost the tournament, but still got the job. Since I would answer hundreds of calls a day, I tried to make them as fun as possible for both the players and myself. I especially enjoyed it when someone would be so excited to speak to me that they'd forget the game that they were playing and where they were stuck. Since I could usually hear their game in the background, I'd tell them what it was and they would freak out that I knew. I could also guess where they were stuck most of the time because I'd just taken lots of calls from other people with the same problem. So while it may have sometimes seemed like we gameplay counselors could read minds, we couldn't, or could we? Let me give this a shot. You're looking for Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 3 tips, aren't you? Here are a couple of good ones. In Super Mario Bros., after you've lost all your lives and return to the title screen, hold A and press start. You'll continue at the beginning of the world you ended on. For Super Mario Bros. 3, look for white blocks. If you stand on one and press down for about 5 seconds, Mario will fall through it and go behind the scenery for a short time. If you do this on World 1-3, you'll find a warp whistle that will let you skip to Worlds 2, 3, or 4.
And now for your final gameplay tip.
Hi, I'm Mark Doyle. I started as a gameplay counselor in 1990, the same year that one of my favorite NES games came out, Star Tropics. Well, it used to be one of my favorites. You see, back in the day, people rented a lot of games, and if you rented Star Tropics, chances were you didn't get the physical letter that came packaged with it. The letter not only set up the plot, but at a certain point in the game, you were told to dip the letter in water to reveal a secret code that's needed to continue. It worked like magic, but if you didn't have the letter, you were stuck. I took so many calls about this that after a while, when someone said, I'm playing Star Tropics, I'd sometimes say 747 before they could even finish. They would laugh and say, no way, how did you know that? Now, there's no letter included with the Nintendo Entertainment System NES Classic Edition system, but I have it on good authority that the 747 code can be found in the Quick Start Guide. Now, I owe you a tip for Metroid. To play as Samus without her armor, go to the password screen and enter Justin Bailey. That's JUSTINBAILEY, all caps, followed by 12 spaces. This will also put you far into the game with lots of power-ups. Have fun!
Thank you for calling Nintendo's Power Line. Don't forget to check out the Nintendo Entertainment System NES Classic Edition, available now at suggested retail price of $59.99. For more information, visit Nintendo.com.
Alright, so that's it. As you can tell, it was pre-recorded all the way through with stories of 3 old game counselor hotline people telling you stuff about Star Tropics and Mario Brothers and all that fun stuff. Did you find out anything new? Legit Camel?
I mean, honestly, I didn't really grow up with a lot of NES games, so I knew that you could play as Samus without armor, didn't know what the code was for it, and I knew that there were warp levels in Mario 3, but I didn't know how to do that either. Yeah. A lot of stuff it's like you hear about, but if you don't play, you never really try it, and I'm not much of a cheater, I guess, you know what I mean? So I don't find unless I've played the game a couple times, I don't like to put in cheat codes or anything like that. So, I knew about this stuff, but how to do it, I never really knew. So yeah, I mean that stuff was pretty cool. I actually did learn a couple things about the games. I
knew the Zelda one, but only because I did that by mistake. When I very first ever played Legend of Zelda, this is back in the day when everybody thought Zelda was the girl. You thought you were playing as Zelda, right? So of course I had to be the loser and be like, oh, I'm playing as Zelda. I better put Zelda in as my name. And thanks to that, I actually had a way more difficult first time playing that game. I had all the difficult bosses and everything. Little 8-year-old TJ trying to beat Legend of Zelda on hard mode. It didn't work well. Anyways, so did you ever get stuck in games? I know you were more of a PlayStation guy, but did you ever get stuck in games? And if so, how did you get your hints? Obviously, there was no hotline at the time, or at least they were dying out by the time we were playing them. So how did you get your hints to help beat a level?
I mean, obviously I got stuck a lot, just like I'm sure any other gamer has gotten stuck in a game at some point in their life. A lot of the times, if I would get stuck, a lot of my friends, you would usually own the game. Mm-hmm. So I would go and I would ask them at school, and the majority of the time they'd figure it out or something and get past a part. I mean, in some cases, even if it was me that they were asking questions to for a certain part that they were stuck on. Other than that, I actually, if I was super stuck in a game, could never figure it out. My internet was, really crappy when I was a kid, so it's not like... The internet was around, obviously. Oh, yeah. And there were websites that had guides and stuff, but a lot of the times I wasn't...
dial-up, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. And my parents were like, no, we will get charged up there, but if you go on the internet, you can't go on the internet.
Get off the internet just in case somebody's calling. You can't be on the internet at the same time.
So it's like... And when I was younger, too, they just didn't want me on the computer in general, because it was expensive, they didn't want me touching any of the hardware on there, even at that. So, there were actually, we had these little books, they were Scholastic Book Fair pamphlets that we would get. Oh, yeah. And it was basically just a trying to get your parents to buy you books thing that the school would send out every, couple months, every month or two.
I remember those.
And there were, sometimes they would have little, cheat code books in there that you could get, and I would always get my parents to buy me a cheat code book, and some were actually guidebooks in general for certain really popular games. So that is actually sometimes how I got through some of the games, was I would put in a cheat code that would make you invincible, and I would get through the part that I was stuck through, whether it was difficulty or whatever it was, or I would just do a flying cheat or something like that.
Just something to get past that hard part.
Yeah, exactly.
What I used to do was, believe it or not, I had Nintendo Power. I had it after the good old days, as some people like to call it. I had it during the GameCube era. But even before that, I would go to cheatplanet.com. That doesn't even exist anymore. And
I do remember Cheat Planet. Oh, my gosh. It just brought back so many memories.
And I would just go on there and figure out not only how to get past the hard part, because I was the same way. That was always very last resort. I would always do everything I could to get it past, without any help. Because oftentimes I didn't have friends who owned the game as well. But, just if I beat a game so often, like Spider-Man for the PlayStation 1, that's when I would find out all these cool, fun cheat codes and stuff. Right. But, yeah, I wish there was still kind of a Nintendo hotline. That'd be cool. Or some kind of hotline that didn't charge money. Right. I don't know. I think that would be cool.
It would be kind of nice. I mean, unfortunately, it costs money to keep a hotline up. Yeah. A lot of companies don't want to... I mean, it's so cheap to actually keep an automated hotline up. Yeah. But a lot of companies just... Why would they?
Exactly. There's the internet.
And it's so easy for people to look stuff up on the internet. But, I mean, this was a fun experience. And it wasn't really a blast in the past for me because there was no way my parents were going to... There's actually a lot of PS1 games, if you look on the manuals, that there actually is a hotline for.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
I know that there's probably one for Spyro, and I know there's probably one for Ape Escape in particular.
Yeah, you take the disc out, and it was usually right behind where the disc was sitting.
Yeah. And, but there's no way my parents were spending a dime for me to try to get a hint line. So I can't say I have any particular memories with it, but it was really cool that they would bring this back with the release of the classic NES, just so people could have, a blast from the past, some nostalgia to come back to.
And as you could tell on that phone call, there was a lot of advertising for the NES Mini as well. I'm sure that was a big thing behind it. It was like, oh, let's get some buzz with the hotline going, and, hint to them about the Mini a little bit in there, too. Hey, this is High Score TJB. Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, tell your friends about us. Just anything to help get the word out, help get us some more subscriptions, likes, all that fun stuff. If you want to see any more videos, click any of the links shown here, and see you next time.